So my wife has breast cancer, and miniature painting is helping us in a big way. Today I'll show you how I painted this printed obsession miniature, but we'll talk about the hobby in general, why everybody needs a hobby. If you're new to my channel, this channel is about leveling up your painting from speed army painting to display-ish level painting. So watch as we turn this model into this. Hi, I'm Don. Welcome to my studio. Other than my awesome patrons, this channel is also fueled by all these awesome brands. So I always have a hobby. When I graduated from college from fine arts, Lord of the Rings came out. And my first salaries I bought with Toy Biz action figures. I did a ton of freelance video work, graphics, editing, and even directing videos, and all of my money were used to buy action figures. Then eventually when I got my second child, I became an employee, and it was graphic stuff still, and video graphics and visual effects, and stayed there for a decade. And I needed a hobby during those times because office politics, lazy coworkers and incompetent bosses and all that stuff. I experienced those, and thus I got into Gunpla and spent most of my free time with doing Gunpla and entering competitions for the next 4 or 5 years. Gunpla has been good to me, and it laid the foundation until I switched to miniature painting. Anyways, fast forward to 2 months ago, we learned that my wife, has stage 2 breast cancer. So to handle the stress, you have to think you're worried for the wife, you have to think of the finances and stuff like that, and she had to undergo some tests. I had to dive in with my miniature painting. So if you're a long-ish subscriber, you might have noticed that I painted more the past couple of months than ever before. So to handle the stress, I simply tried to overwork myself. I simply painted more since I paint. I paint every day. I paint full time. So I had to paint more. I had to paint after lunch. I have to paint after dinner so that I will keep my mind away from reality. So any hobby, although for me miniature painting is a full-time work, but of course it still feels like a hobby. It's an escape. It's like an escape from reality. Also, it's super great that Creature Caster and especially Cuttlefish color paints arrived last month or a couple of months ago, just in time when we discovered that the wife has cancer, because new paints means I have to think more because I don't know how to use the paints. I had to get used to using the new paints, and it was my mind was really into it. This is another reason why I don't really like airbrushing, because I find it too easy. I've been doing it for so long already, and whenever I airbrush or even with paint with Vallejos, I know the paint so much. My mind kinda thinks of my ordeal again. So it's great that I don't know how to use cuttlefish, and I had to it's a challenge, and my mind is so focused on trying to come up with good painting with new paints and new techniques. Well, basically old techniques, but I needed to learn more, and thus my mind kinda escape what what I have to deal with. So basically, I overwork. I work harder than before, and in the hopes that YouTube will grow a bit faster. Also, I wanted the Patreon to grow faster too because I have to, and it's really satisfying and fulfilling to see growth with your socials and YouTube, of course. But in my case, I needed it. So please don't get me wrong. I'm not telling you guys to subscribe or be a patron because my wife has cancer. It's just I'm telling you that the hobby miniature painting has been so great with for me at least. I was able to handle and I'm handling the situation a bit better because whenever I dip my brush to like a pool of paint, I kinda temporarily forget what I have to deal with. However, no matter how hard I work or how many content I produce, the growth of the channel and my Patreon won't be enough to like support the finances that my wife needs on the 20th because she's scheduled to have the operation on the 20th, and that's like barely like just a few days from now, like a couple of weeks from now. So a couple of days ago I decided to ask help from my patrons and like told them that like I told them last month that I'm dealing with my wife's cancer. But eventually, um as much as I did not want to ask help financially from my patrons, I did. And my patrons pulled through, and the support was overwhelming. Other than the crazy financial monetary support from the patrons, the emotional support was really good too. I get to talk with a handful of my patrons every day, and they kinda ask me and comforts me on how I can deal with the problem or the ordeal and the situation, and it was super great. I don't really want to sound dramatic and all, although we are very grateful, but who would have thought that these strangers, these patrons, these former subscribers, former followers at Instagram and Facebook will be like, I don't know, they will be the ones who will be helping me the most, and they will practically like not only support my YouTube channel, they will practically like finance the finances of the wife. So it's crazy to think about it, but it's really crazy, and we are very grateful. So now it's time to thank my crazy awesome patrons, from my bronze patrons, my silver patrons, my gold level patrons who like gave monetary support. Some gave really good emotional support by chats and stuff. And of course, thanks to my platinum patrons, which are crazy awesome too. And of course, the palladium patrons, which are super crazy. Now it's time for our golden lemon reveal. So that's it. I'm not really super happy with the painting here. I was a bit anxious during the painting process. It's not an excuse, but I feel to create separation between the tongue and the skin and even the bone structures. But overall, the kit looks good. Anyways, to summarize the video, the hobby is great. Miniature painting is like the best hobby so far for me, and because of the help that we are getting from our supporters and the patrons and subscribers, I will never ever stop painting miniatures. Thank you so much to everyone. That's it, Pansit.